Just because there's a CFP exam window coming up doesn't mean you should take it. If you're not ready, it's going to cost you time, energy, and maybe even some of your confidence. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 signs that you might not be ready just yet and how to avoid the mistakes most people make. And if you are ready, I'll show you the tool that I've built to help you pass the first time. Now, you might be looking at the next CFP exam window and thinking, I've got to sign up. But the truth is, timing alone won't determine whether you pass. You need clarity about why you're doing this, how will you be preparing, and whether this fits into your long-term career plan. See, each year the CFP Board of Standards has 3 exam windows, March, July, and November. And I created this video to help you make a smart decision, not a rushed one. So let's go through the 5 questions you need to ask yourself before registering for the exam. And stick around to the end, because if you're planning to take the exam, I'm going to show you where to get a tool that'll help you build your study plan and avoid common mistakes. So let's start with this first sign. If you're not clear on what the CFP actually is or what it does for your career, you may not be ready. So the question is, have you done enough research about the CFP? Now, many people sign up without understanding what the designation actually does. And let me just tell you what that's going to be. As a certified financial planner, you're going to find yourself walking people through this 7 steps of financial planning. Now, I'm not going to go through all of those because that's a whole nother video, but suffice to say, you will be learning how to develop the behind the scenes analysis and I guess all the details that go into creating a comprehensive financial plan for clients independently. That is what the CFP is all about. As a certified financial planner, what you will find yourself doing is really building relationships with people, getting enough of their information and details and context so you can create a comprehensive financial plan for them. That's kind of the goal. And if you haven't done enough research to understand what each of those elements look like, a great place to start is to start with the principal knowledge topics. There's 8 of them, and it will walk you through how much of those topics are actually on the exam, but it will also give you an idea of the type of work that a certified financial planner does. If you don't like number crunching, and if you don't like talking to people, as I've said in previous videos, this is probably not the career for you. You're going to be doing a lot of digging into the details of what someone's financial life looks like so that you can help them get to the next level. Think of yourself as a guide, and you want to understand how getting this particular designation, passing the exam, going through the education, aligns with your long-term career path as a financial planner, as a financial professional. What exactly do you want to happen in your career that this is going to help along? That's kind of the way you need to be thinking about it, okay? The second sign, you haven't talked to anyone who's already done it. And I don't mean just reading Reddit threads or watching my YouTube videos. I mean real conversations with real CFP professionals. So the question is, have you talked to real CFP professionals yet? Now, I know this could be a challenge. Podcasts, YouTube, Reddit threads are all fine, but real conversations will give you the truth about what the exam represents and what life is like afterwards. I recently had a conversation with a Jumpstart coaching lab client, and he let me know that, one of the biggest things that he did was talking to a lot of CFP professionals. He attended FPA meetings, he went to conferences, he had coffees, he did a lot of different things before he decided to go down this path as a professional. And I think that is so key, because success in your first 3 years, when the failure rate is as high as 80%, is going to be largely determined by this particular factor. You're going to have multiple conversations with CFP professionals, not only about the exam, but about what you're getting yourself into as you go through this career. Alrighty, number 3, and this one is kind of sneaky because it's about your why. If you're signing up just because everyone says you should, I think you're setting yourself up for failure and definitely burnout. So the question is, are you taking the exam for the right reasons? Now, if you're one of these people you're doing it just because it's what comes next or everyone says you should, you're going to flame out halfway through your study plan. Internal motivation is key. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. And I don't want you to do that because it's a very long journey, considering the fact that it probably takes you about a year 10 to 12 months to get through the education, another 3 to 4 months to study for the exam. That's a lot of time. And you definitely want to make sure that you're doing it for the right reason. Because if you get into the process and you're like, whoa, I bit off more than I can chew, it's going to be a little constraining, or I would say at least you're going to have some hesitation around whether you should stop. You know, the whole idea of Hernando Cortez burning the boats and we're never going to leave until we do what we're set to do, you're going to have a consternation about fighting those two competing ideas. Do I keep going or do I give up? And so making sure that you do this for the right reason all comes down to your why. Why do you want to get into this industry? As a career changer, as an aspiring financial professional, it can be pretty difficult to jump into this career, especially if you've already built up some social and reputational capital in another career and now you're switching over to this. So just make sure that your why is in alignment and make sure that you are doing this for the right reason. If you find yourself kind of nodding along and realizing you don't have a real good study plan as we're going through these questions, you're going to want the resource that I mentioned at the end. So keep on watching. Now let's talk about sign number 4. Experience. Now, technically, the board doesn't require it, but if you don't have any planning, context, or client-facing time, studying will feel like trying to translate a foreign language. So the question is, do you have relevant experience yet? Now, just because the board doesn't require it does not mean you shouldn't get it. Now, take it from someone that did the financial professional career thing for several years. I was 15 years in the game before I took my CFP exam. Now, you don't have to wait that long. However, I had so much client experience that I was able to transfer some of the education that I had gotten in order to get that experience during my grad degree. And after I passed the exam, I already qualified for the experience hours. So that just kind of lets you know how far along into the journey that I was when I took the exam. And I will have to admit that the exam and my study plan and the provider that I use made the whole process really easy for me when I got to the exam. I will definitely tell you that my exam, I was over prepared for my exam and I felt really confident going into it. So I would just say, without real client facing or planning context, when you're studying, some of these concepts are going to really be hard for you to grasp because you have nothing concrete or solid to attach it to because you haven't done the thing yet that they're talking about. I hope that makes sense to you and that is a factor in you deciding whether or not you move forward. And last but not least, sign number 5, which is you don't have a plan. And I don't just mean I'm going to read the textbook. Of course, you got to go way further than that for this particular exam. I mean a structured, intentional, day-by-day plan to pass. Because we know that if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. So the 5th question is going to be, do you have a clear plan to pass? Now, passing the CFP exam requires structure. It's going to require a timeline. It's going to require time and study blocks. It's going to require you going through a lot of questions in the question bank. It may even require you to get around a group of friends, a study group to help you study, and it's going to include practice exams. If you're not quite ready to bite off all of that, then you probably are not ready to take the exam. So think about a timeline that will actually help you be successful after you've gotten through all the education and the capstone. Your plan needs to look like something that's really going to challenge you. And I had a plan that over the 90 days before my exam, I was studying 20 hours a week. It looked like a lot of long weekends at the public library and my kids going, "Dad, when are we going to be able to do this?" And I'm just like, just give me some time. And after this is over, I will definitely spend time with you. So whatever friends or family or whatever kind of social circles you operate in, you're going to have to let them know you're going to go into a cave. Okay? So here's the deal. If 2 or more of these hit home, pause, don't panic. You're probably not ready yet though. And that's not failure. It's just a sign that you're self-aware. And to help you out, I created a full playlist of CFP exam content. It's called the CFP Exam Week. So check out that playlist. It's linked below in the description also. And if you're ready to start studying, grab the CFP Study Success Blueprint in the Jumpstart store. This is a tool that I've created that will help you turn insight into execution. Watch the playlist, download the blueprint, start building your plan, and I'll see you in the next video.